What's up, YouTube? JazzX Captain here, and today I'm bringing you a Diablo 4 thoughts video. Now, I know a lot of the content on our channel is Destiny 2 focused, and I want to say that we aren't just going to be Destiny 2 focused. I mainly want to focus on Destiny 2 and Diablo 4. So today, Diablo 4 review. I've been playing this franchise since I was young, and I've been playing all the games. I mainly played Diablo 2, a little bit of Diablo 3, but I was really excited to get my hands on this beta, and I'm excited to play next week into when we get access to the Druid and the Necromancer. The gameplay you're seeing is from the stream the other day, and I was playing as the Rogue since it was the newest class addition to the Diablo roster. Now, starting right off the bat, let's talk about the story. So far, the story seems pretty cool. It's definitely got me interested, and I'm invested. I want to know more about the story. Lilith is looking really cool and a very exciting antagonist. Every time she comes on the screen, she has such a menacing presence, and I'm definitely excited to dive deeper and definitely hopefully do a story run for the channel when the game fully releases in June. Now, on to gameplay. First off, let's talk about the UI. Personally, the UI in the center of the screen is fine with me. All they really did was bring over the Diablo 3 UI and tweaked it a bit to give it its own Diablo 4 look. That's cool. I don't mind it at all. Now, there's not many big changes with that, and it's not like a big deal, but I don't know, maybe a little bit of a change up even more than it is. But again, it's the beta. I don't know how much they're actually going to change until release. The next thing is definitely the inventory system. Again, it's kind of similar to Diablo 3, especially with the stats and the game basically telling me what item is better or worse than my current equipped items, which personally I'm not a fan of. I'd prefer like the Diablo 2 item system, but other people really might like that. You know, they don't want to look too much into what's going on with their items, and they're like, oh, green, okay, equip it. And you know what, that's fine for other people. I'm not like upset about it. I'm fine playing the game with it, and it's gonna be fun regardless. Now, the inventory screen is generally definitely giving me Diablo Immortal vibes. I mean, this is a game on consoles and on PC. This isn't a mobile game, and when I open up the inventory screen, I feel like I'm playing Diablo Immortal, and I'm not a big fan of that, and I really think that there should definitely be some changes in the inventory screen, but I don't know how much they're going to change until release. Now, next thing is skills. This is by far my favorite part of the game so far, and I really enjoy the items we can get +1 to skills and random skills that we don't even spec into, just like Diablo 2. That was an awesome thing in Diablo 2, and I'm glad they're bringing that back in Diablo 4. I think the layout is something to get used to, which branches, but it's definitely cool to spec into several different paths and skills and not locked with an X amount of skills like Diablo 3, despite Diablo 3's elective system. Now, another thing is we don't have access to the Paragon screen because we have to be level 50 and we can only go up to level 25 in the beta. But I was messing around with the skill tree a lot, and I did end up playing a all flame sorceress in my off time and whatnot, not streaming and whatnot, and I really like what can be done with the skill systems, and I think the branching skills before leveling them seemed extremely effective, especially when I was messing around with some of the Flame Hydra builds. So my sorceress is mainly Flame Hydra, and it has been an absolute blast. Also, each class comes with its own specialization system. So the Rogue has a combo system, and then I believe when you hit level 20 or 25, if I remember right, you get the Insight system, and then for the sorceress, you get their specialization where you can enhance a skill. So I chose enhancing hydras, and you can spawn like an extra amount of hydras for like half the duration, and it can spawn with a 5th head, which was pretty cool. Like, again, sorceress was a lot of fun, and what you're seeing in the gameplay is me playing Rogue, and that was a ton of fun. Now let's talk about towns. There is the main city with all the merchants, and they brought a lot of systems back from Diablo 3, which is not necessarily a bad thing. The blacksmith can upgrade your items for min-maxing, which I think is a pretty cool feature. They brought back the bloodshard merchant, but instead it is called murmuring orbs, and it is a new currency, but it does exactly the same thing as the bloodshard merchant did in Diablo 3. Personally, not a fan of this, and I would rather grind gear out as it feels more rewarding, but others who aren't really into the grind or don't have the time, I can understand why people would like this. Last, the new vendor that extracts legendary powers is pretty cool, and the aspects you get from completing the dungeons will permanently be attached to the vendor, so that if you want to attach them to a rare, you can, as long as you have the gold for the upgrade. I personally enjoy this system, although I worry that it makes using legendaries less likely, and most people will just extract legendaries and put it on a rare because rare items have an extra affix on them than legendaries do. So we'll see what really happens when the game like final releases, but I don't really know how it's going to all work out at this moment. Now, if you like the content, please hit a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I'm also live on Twitch. We also have a TikTok, all the same handle, JazzXCaptain. Please check those out. I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's get back to the video. Now let's talk about combat and encounters. First, we have world encounters, and although it is fun seeing many different players because of the open world aspect, they are quite disappointing in that all of them basically have the same exact mechanic. You damage the enemy spawns some dudes, the dudes make him immune, you kill the dudes, he becomes immune, you damage him, rinse, repeat until he's dead. Frankly, it is extremely boring. It is fun getting loot and chests from the world events, but I want a little bit more variety. I hope it isn't just area specific. I hope that it changes and it's not the same thing in all the different acts. Next up, we have the dungeon and the cellars. First off, the cellars. There are lots of cellars in Diablo 4, at least in the first area, and unfortunately, all of them have the same layout. We have a neutral area and a fight area. The other disappointing thing is it's the two same things every time. You either get the chalice exorcism or you get the other thing, and that's it. Again, I hope this was just maybe area specific, but we don't know until the game fully releases, and I really hope they change that. Now the dungeons. The dungeons seem to have a problem of their own. Although I do enjoy the boss fights in the dungeons, again, like the cellars, they have the same layout, very linear, same layout. And the problem is if you're just trying to get to the boss, like most people I feel like are just trying to get right through it, you're going to skip some areas and you're going to have to backtrack to areas you just fought enemies and grab these keys to unlock the boss room. Frankly, I'm an explorer myself, so I didn't really run into this too much, but I was running my sorceress on my second run and it was just like backtracking and it was just too much downtime, although the boss fights are fun. Next up, we have strongholds. These are a pretty cool concept to obtain neutral cities in the game, but again, the one stronghold I did had the same world event mechanic with the immune protecting the boss again as the other world events. The boss fight was definitely more challenging and fun than your typical world event, but again, it didn't provide anything new from regular world events. I want to see variety in my world events. I want reason to do my world events, other than potentially getting a chest at the end with some yellows in it. Lastly, we have the world boss events. Now, these are specially timed events by Blizzard, and there is a mega boss in the world that spawns. I was able to participate in one of them, and I gotta say it was very different, and I liked that it was challenging, even though we had 9 people total to defeat it. I definitely liked when the game would zoom out, although I didn't like that I kind of got my character lost because of how big the boss is. The boss is so big the game has to zoom out, and you're just kind of small on the screen, and you just got to be really paying attention to what is going on. And nonetheless, though, the rewards were definitely worth it, and I'm excited to try some more boss events and hopefully do some more boss events within this upcoming weekend's beta with the Druid and the Necromancer. Now, overall, I'd say Diablo 4 is pretty fun and enjoyable game so far. I'm not sure how fun and enjoyable it will be for people looking for a challenge or like hardcore players, especially people coming from Diablo 2. I also don't know how the speedrunning is going to work, whether or not it's going to be similar to Diablo 3 or they're going to do their own thing. But I'm definitely a fan of the game. I'm excited for the game to come out, and it definitely seems like a very fun game to play with friends, whether it's on the couch or just in general in online play. I hope you enjoyed the video, and keep an eye out for more Diablo 4 content in the future, along with other videos on the channel, because we aren't just doing Destiny 2, we do Diablo 4, Destiny 2, just kind of whatever really gets us going, you know, like, yeah. So feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you want. I also stream on Twitch Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. to 11. Thank you for watching. Peace out.